how did the little kid in you react when you acquired the Canadians?
I remember her. I was sitting actually on the couch in my house, and I was like, "So, Kate, I'm thinking about buying the Montreal Canadiens. What do you think?" She was like, "Well, I'm thinking about buying a couch for this room. What do you think about that?"
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, Montreal Canadiens, a couch, and so we sort of whatever. One thing led to another, and without realizing completely what I was getting into, I went after it and succeeded, and we got the couch too. So it's all good.
Welcome to Never Offside. We just had Thanksgiving weekend. I hope everyone had a fantastic holiday. Today we have Jeff Molson on the show, the owner of the Montreal Canadiens, who is just a fabulous guy. So we will get to him after we recap the craziness that was Thanksgiving.
Are you recovered, Kat DeFoley, from, I think we're calling it Toffsgiving?
Toffsgiving, yes. Felicia Wenberg, she coined it that, and then the NHL ran with it. Yes, I'm not going to lie, 52 people was a lot.
Yeah.
We had maybe like 24 last year. I don't even know where all of us came from this year. Like, I don't know if we just have more people in general on the team. They're kids, obviously. Honestly, it was a big taking. My hands kind of hurt.
I mean, no doubt. You've been cooking for the last 10 days.
Yeah, like, and then the cleaning, it was that too. Yeah, it was a lot. And it was just kind of like, it was like a big puzzle, which, we love puzzles. But like,
yeah, it looked fantastic.
Yeah.
You pulled it off. You're amazing for even entertaining that idea, and executing. And you had a lot of helping hands, I saw.
Well, so this year I
were they like my kids helping, like two steps forward, three back?
Yeah, when Michael and Ty helped, it kind of set me back a little bit. I decided to put them to work. Ty has this new idea every year of a turducken, which for those who don't watch American football, it is a turkey, duck, and a chicken all Frankensteined into one.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, me either. But apparently it's like this big thing every football, Thanksgiving football, whatever. In the NFL, they like cut it open the turducken. It's like a big thing. So anyway, guys geek out over it. So Ty had to go in for practice, but since I don't want anything to do with the turducken, that's Ty's thing. So he went into Michael's side of our house, which has its own oven, and he put it, I think it was like 4 hours uncovered, whatever. So he goes in the rink. He comes back to the turducken almost burning down Michael's side of our house.
Excuse me?
So the turducken almost ruined Thanksgiving single-handedly. This Frankenstein of a
almost
thing.
Ruined a lot more than that.
Almost ruined just life in general. But yeah, the turducken, which was a whole thing, we saved it, thankfully, but that was crazy. And it just was something that
well, y'all did it, and it looked amazing, and everybody there just on your back porch, you did it. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing too was this year we delegated people to bring stuff more, so that was great. But funny, this went pretty big on social when I storied Will's banana bread, which was the cutest thing ever. First of all, so the week before. I asked all the guys if they would bring stuff, and all the guys were like, we'll bring like wine, whatever. And he's like, I make an amazing chocolate chip banana bread. So I was like,
totally the thing you would think of to bring to Thanksgiving dinner.
Totally. So he literally, the week before Thanksgiving, went out and got the bananas to make sure they were ripe because they went on the road the night before.
Okay, so this is preparation.
Yeah, so he prepped, and then they played in Vegas the night before Thanksgiving, so he had to like make it the day of, whatever, and it was the first thing gone. So it was really sweet, and I really appreciated it.
Solid contribution. Well,
yeah, shout out Colleen for
whatever recipe you gave him. That's so funny. So that reminds me, maybe we should put this in the air, because Will bringing a chocolate chip banana bread and it being the first thing gone. Do the people know that Sidney Crosby makes the best chocolate chip banana bread on earth? Like, have I told that story?
I don't remember. I think I've heard this, but because does he bring that to Thanksgiving? Is that
no, he like bakes it. And I swear to God, I asked Kathy. I was like, no, his girlfriend. I'm like, you have to do this for him. She's like, no, we do it together. I literally just set it like. Turn the oven on, and before every season starts, he makes a loaf of banana bread for each of his teammates and puts it in their stall.
No,
and
okay.
wraps it up
No.
in this. Yeah, well, this could be Will. Will, this could be you. If
I
you're
have
listening,
not heard that story.
it's the best banana bread I've ever had. My boys still talk about it to this day. To one point, he brought it on the road with him to, I think, when we were in Detroit, and gave us a loaf at Christmas time. Like, he is that banana bread. So anyways, what I'm trying to say here is
That's crazy.
Will and Sid need to have a bake-off.
Yeah.
And the NHL needs to make it happen, and we need to vote on who has the best chocolate chip banana bread.
I
So-
mean, that's a great. I
You
feel
heard
like
it
the
here.
NHL would love that. That would be huge, actually.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure Will's was great, but until I try it, till I come out to San Jose,
Wow. Will's was great, but also the funniest thing about it was like the first people that ate it were Will and Tyler and Mac, and then I think a few more guys came. So I think it was gone before the girls even got here.
Yeah,
Really.
so anyways, that's really cute and
Yeah.
just thoughtful, and I love that he was contributing to
Yeah, it was sweet. And
Thanksgiving dinner.
it was cute, and then all the Swedes brought Swedish candy.
Oh,
along
I
with
saw
wine.
your picture. I'm like, that is the best, honestly.
I know it's just become a thing here. So yeah, Thanksgiving, it's a time. It's so much fun. They always have a day game the next day, which is a thing, but it makes dinner go quicker and it gives you motivation to get dinner on the table more. But I saw yours. So yours was impromptu because you didn't tell me you were having a team Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, we weren't. And and I was not planning on doing anything because we had done everything the week before for Jeff's 1000th, which, by the way, you can see in the back, that's the silver stick.
Oh,
yeah,
it's in a little protective
it's
case.
in like a velvet like bag. It's
Fancy.
heavy, man. Like,
Yeah.
I could do bicep curls with it and get a good workout.
Well, wait till the end of this podcast because I'm going to make you end the podcast with that. So
Yeah, okay. And then, anyways, I was burnt out. I was like, we're not doing anything. And then turns out the Marshaws are just like game time hosters. They're like, we're not letting the team not do something together. They just moved literally like 4 days before Thanksgiving, and she hosted an all-out banger. Just everybody, and we were all like, we'll do potluck, like we'll bring dishes, and she's like, no, got it covered. Pulls off just a amazing spread. I can't even explain. It was Katrina just did.
Did she cook it? How did she get all the provisions that late?
She mostly catered. Funny story about this, which we need one of the guys to come tell this story. But apparently when the talks of the team were to have Thanksgiving at the Marshans, Brad trying to help, because they were moving and everything like that, he just takes it upon himself to go order, some catering.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he goes on to order 20 plates of Thanksgiving dinner from the Cracker Barrel. And when Katrina got word of that, she's like, absolutely not.
Oh, I think
like, cancel that order. And it was like a whole big thing of him like trying to cancel the order and anything. Anyways, it all got resolved. Just hilarious. Like,
she's like, that's not fancy enough for our new house.
No, she was just like, absolutely not. Like, our first team function, like, we're not having like plates of Cracker Barrel, like handing them out, which just dying, because that's just like his personality. And then she just is the ultimate hoster and pulled it together and pulled off just a complete gorgeous gathering. It happened to be monsooning here on Thanksgiving Day, which is kind of unheard of. So everything was like brought inside, but it was perfect, and the kids were there, and there was just like a massive why am I drawing a blank? Nerf gun fight the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
They have a million Nerf guns, and all the kids are just shooting Nerf guns like across the dinner tables. I'm just like, oh my gosh, of course my kids are going to like shoot a wine glass down or something. But
how many people on the team were there? Was it like the majority of the team or like?
dude, it was probably same as you, 40 to 50 people.
Oh
like
my God.
it was insane how she pulled this together as quickly as she did. So
See,
bowing
I see
down.
people like that. Yeah, bow down, because I see people like that, like with nice dishes and nice wine glasses, and I was like, no, I'm going for the nice plastic because
Yeah,
they're
well,
ruined. by
that
the
was,
end.
but that was just like, the easiest way to do it too was just find people that could bring it in last minute too, and it was gorgeous. It was stunning.
Lovely.
Just the most gracious host, and it was so fun to be together, and not have to actually do anything either.
Yeah, you were
hosting-wise.
gonna take out that
Yeah.
turned a corner.
Yeah, I was gonna do takeout or not even. We were gonna make turkey sandwiches and go to the beach.
Yeah.
But it was monsooning, and we ended up everybody was at the Martians, and it was awesome. So
I love
it
it.
was a happy Thanksgiving, and now we are just finally like December 1st. Here we go. Like
Yeah. It's Christmas
Santa Claus time.
Well, I'm in my favorite Montreal Canadiens line shades. One of my favorite. I have a bunch, but for a reason.
Of
So.
course. So, yeah, of course, leading into our guest, Jeff Molson. It's so perfect you wear that sweatshirt today. Excited to talk to him about so many things. It's quite a different conversation, probably an interview for him, I guess you would say, than he usually gets. But it's fun, and we kind of cover the spread here of lighthearted and serious topics there. So that'll be up next. Well, a deal is a deal. We are here because of a handshake deal at the Suzuki wedding this summer in Montreal with the one and only, the owner, the president, the CEO of the Montreal Canadiens, Jeff Molson. But he's not only that, he is a father of 4 and a husband to wonderful wife, Kate. We know you as like kind of so much more as just the owner, I feel like, of the Canadiens. And I think it leads us into this whole conversation of just how comfortable we are with you and why we're here. And you live up to a deal when you shake someone's hand.
Yeah, well, a deal is a deal. And thank you for having me.
So last time we saw you was at the Suzuki wedding, and you are that type of owner that, everyone's comfortable with being at a wedding like that. You're so much fun. So we wanted to know any fun takeaways you had from the Suzuki wedding.
Oh my gosh, there were so many. But I think it all started at the cocktail party when those espresso martinis were being circulated early with limited appetizers, and I think everyone was in a good mood very early on, and I think that's when you two ladies cornered me and made a deal. So it's
I mean,
well, Kate was like, "This is the time, swoop in now, and then
exactly.
You'll for sure lock it in." So
yeah, Kate
we
did the
appreciate it.
assist.
Anyway.
Did you have any favorite attendees on the team?
Well, it was fun to see everyone. I mean, especially both of your husbands, because it'd been a few years since we got together and had seen each other in sort of that type of surrounding. But yeah, for me to have the guys and their wives from the previous group, along with the new group that had some exposure to them, to see that dynamic and how on a team, I don't think you ever lose your friendship. You don't lose your friendships even if you switch teams, and that was pretty evident at the wedding.
I think that the one thing is like not a lot of owners go to. I wouldn't know, but like, are many owners invited to weddings like this? Like the fact that you guys, your whole family was at the wedding, you guys go to a lot of things like this with the players on your team. And I think it tells a lot about you guys personally, the type of owner, and more so the type of people you are with your hockey family. It's not like this big, huge separation. Like, of course there's a separation, but there's just something different there in Montreal, I feel.
Yeah, I try. I try to have. I sort of see the Montreal Canadiens as one very big family, and it's not just the players on the ice. It's the wives, the girlfriends, the parents, the kids, the trainers, the doctors. Everyone's part of what we're trying to accomplish, and I believe strongly in that, and I think it gives people a sense of belonging, and it makes people proud to be part of the Montreal Canadiens organization. And so, whether it's through my wife, who does a lot of the organization with players' wives and girlfriends, or my kids, who are now the same age as some of our players. It's I brought my son William, for example, yesterday to our Christmas party, which both of you have attended, and again, big family affair, lots of fun, and he's friends with some of the players who were the same age as him. So it's times have changed. Yeah.
Your kids growing up with the players, like that has to be. We need to have them on the podcast, really, to tell their
Stories.
versions of it. But I kind of want to tee you up for this story that relates you to all of this, just being so approachable, down to earth. And I think you know where I'm going with this. And it's the bus on the way back from Gillette Stadium. Do you want to tell that story, your version, and then I'll tell mine?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell mine, because I did promise. My daughter watches your show, and
Oh, Maggie.
Oh.
and so she's been asking me when it starts and stuff like that. And so I promised I would talk about her. So now I get to talk about her.
Oh,
I
good.
love this.
So I actually don't remember what year it was. You probably do, but
20, whenever the outdoor in Boston was 2016.
16. So my daughter Maggie would have been about 10 years old, and we had a pre-game cocktail party before going out into the freezing cold game, and my daughter was sitting up there with Kate, my wife, and all of a sudden we started hearing duck noises in the back of the bus, and my daughter was very, very curious. And I'm not quite sure why you were doing it. So this is where your part of the story will be quite helpful. But
I remember it where it was the end of so this is where it's blurry, because the whole those nights and I left my babies at the hotel with my mom for the game, because didn't want to like bear the elements with them or whatever. And you're having a couple of drinks at the game. I'm like late or last to get back to the bus on the way back. And
this is at the end. Okay, maybe that's right.
I think that's where I think where we met up was, I'm like, where's our bus? Where's our bus? And all of a sudden I see the Molson family in front of me. And I'm like, well, as long as I trail them, I'm fine. And so I just get on this bus. So first of all is you guys are getting on the bus with all the players' families and everybody in attendance. And you're not sitting in the front of the bus like the owner in charge said. You're going to the back of the bus. Wherever there's a seat left, you guys are all piling in. And I happen to sit next to Maggie. And it's dark, it's late.
You have a way better memory than me. So.
Yeah, there could have been something on the way from the cocktail event, though. I do recollect
I
something
mean, those
there.
games are crazy though too. Like
It's all a blur.
yeah.
Anyways, I sit next to Maggie. It's dark. We're going back. And then I don't know what got into me. It goes back to, I don't know why I learned duck calls. And I'm teaching Maggie a duck call. And you guys are turning around like, Maggie, like kind of getting on her like, what are you up to? And then I'm like, sorry, that's me. Like, I'm the one causing the ruckus. But anyways,
can you do the duck call so we can all recollect this moment? Like,
well, now I'm on the spot. It's like,
You're smiling. You can't do it when you're smiling, can you?
no. And Carrie Price would be so upset with my form, but it's like, I don't know. Anyways, it's very poor duck call, but Maggie loved it, and that's one of my favorite stories. And just
that's a shout out, Maggie. Thanks.
just kind of, and now Maggie's grown, and we were having margaritas and espresso martinis at the Suzuki wedding together.
Exactly.
So very full circle life there. And
Yes.
like you said, it's always one big family together.
One big family. That's right.
That was really cool at the wedding too. It was honestly one of the first time all of us got to hang out, like post COVID, obviously, like all being on different teams. So and everyone, we were so close too, yet so far, I guess. So.
I know. Well, all you have to do is watch them all dancing towards the end of the night with their ties on their heads and their shirts off. No matter which team they were playing on, they were all in it together. It was great.
I was going to say, how late did you stay? I was wondering.
I think that's when I said, "This is my time to go." So
it was, and we were actually right behind you. Jeff and I were like, Jeff and I were like, yeah, it's time for us to go too.
Oh, so you missed the fix you moment too?
I missed the fix you moment. What was the fix you moment?
Damn! After all the shirts got hung in the rafters, fix you came on, and everyone started hugs swaying together. It was
nice. That's awesome.
Apparently it was a magical moment that we missed, but also times have changed since. I think 10 years ago I was doing all the years in my head, and 2015 after we got traded to Montreal and playoffs and the season ended, we had that end of season party, and that was kind of like our first kind of get together with everybody and meeting you and Kate for the first time. And you guys just stuck around at that end of season party till the last ones to leave. And I was like, is this how most owners are? I just was it was so foreign to me. It was the best time with you guys.
It was super fun. I remember we went on the ice at the end of the night, took those pictures. That was fun. Yeah.
Who has those pictures?
I have one for sure.
Oh,
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, we need that picture because it was like Manny Malhotra was doing karaoke. Him and I were doing karaoke. And it was just all at the Bell Center at the restaurants up there. It was
super fun. Yeah.
So many good memories there.
Was it the entire team that you just waved on the ice?
No, it was actually, we were like, by the end of the night, I think there were probably 6 players and their wives.
Oh, that's so fun.
Everyone else had gone. It was really late. I remember it was a fun night. Yeah.
And you're like, to the ice we go.
We were sort of on our way to the parking lot to take our taxis. And we just decided to stop on the ice and take some pictures. So it was fun. Yeah.
And when the boss is with you, you just go.
Yeah, you just go.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I think we want to take it back a little bit to obviously your family. The Molson family and Canadians are just synonymous, the rich in history of all things Montreal and Montreal Canadiens. But you as a kid growing up as a Montreal Canadiens fan, like, what was that like? Do you have any memories growing up that stick out to you around the Canadiens?
Well, I was lucky. When I was a kid, Molson, the beer company, was the owner of the Montreal Canadiens. And so the beer company owned the Canadiens. I got to go to games. I got to see the players when they go on the ice and sort of be part of that culture. So, these Christmas parties and events that we do, that we've done with you, both of you and your husbands, I used to benefit from that with my parents and the players of that time.
That's so cool.
The Santa Claus coming for the Christmas party, skating on the ice, end of season parties, being part of all the rituals. As a kid, I got to witness that. And so I appreciated it. I loved it. And then, here I am now the owner myself, and I try to maintain a lot of those traditions because I just remember it being such a positive experience. Yeah.
Do you have any, we were wondering, any memorabilia from back then that you still have today?
Oh yeah, I'm a collector. I have a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah, my favorite player back then, his name was Steve Shutt. And he was a left winger and wore number 22. And so I have a lot of his stuff, including his bobblehead doll and his jersey and everything, really, his hockey stick. And so I have a lot of that kind of stuff, and it's all somewhere in my house stored away for me to look at another time. So.
I was going to say, we're not going to build some sort of like ultimate Habs cave.
Well, you know what we do at our house, my wife and I, when we moved into our house in Montreal, we converted the basement into sort of like a little Habs hockey rink area. So it's like a gym floor with white walls, and there's Habs stuff everywhere, which have all sort of been tarnished because the kids have shot so many pucks at them over the years. But I'm sure you have that too. But yeah, we have lots of memorabilia all over the place, and we're pretty proud to be part of it.
Are there any like current players that you like that your sons and stuff have been collecting stuff from?
Yeah, well, they all have their favorite players. I don't speak about favorite players because I love them all, but I do remember when Maggie was a little kid, she had a Andrei Markov doll,
Oh.
and Andrei Markov hurt his knee, and we were upstairs in the kitchen, and she was in the basement playing with Andrei Markov doll, and I remember she was saying to him, we could hear her say, "Don't worry, Marky, you'll be back soon. You'll be
Oh.
back soon." It was a very cute moment.
Oh.
Telling
Like
Andre
little ice
Markov
pack.
doll. Yeah, exactly.
Willing him back to the ice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so
Oh,
cute.
that's such a sweet story. That's
Yeah.
really cute. Separate from hockey, what did you imagine doing growing up if it weren't owning the Canadians? Like, I don't know if you imagined you would own the Canadians one day, be it that your family did, maybe you did. But
That was
if you
it.
didn't own the Canadians, what would you see yourself?
Yeah, so I actually didn't. I never had in my lifetime goals to own the Montreal Canadiens. I think that it happened in 2009, and it was a perfect opportunity for me to change gears and do that.
Hmm.
But my goal, I worked in the beer business for most of my career, and in all kinds of different sales, marketing roles. My goal was always to become the CEO of Molson Coors Brewing Company. That was something that I always wanted to do. And up until 2009, when the Canadians came up, I was headed down that path, and then it changed. And so I couldn't be happier. I'm still on the board of Molson Coors, and very proud to be part of the seventh generation of Molson family that are involved in the beer business. But I'm also super happy that I changed gears and made an investment to own the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah.
Wow. So like bringing the tradition that you grew up as a kid into now, that's crazy that you never saw that ahead.
Well, I sort of grew up with the beer company owning it, and then the beer company Molson at the time sold to an American named George Gillette, but Molson kept 20%, and so one thing led to another, and George Gillette decided to sell, and that was in 2009, and so that was my opportunity. But it wasn't until then that I actually thought it was possible.
How did the little kid in you react when you acquired the Canadians?
I remember I was sitting actually on the couch in my house, and Kate was there, and I was like, "So Kate, I'm thinking about buying the Montreal Canadiens. What do you think?" And she was like, "Well, I'm thinking about buying a couch for this room. What do you think about that?" And so it was like we were laughing at like
Oh, that's
yeah,
so
Montreal
funny.
Canadiens, a couch, and so we sort of whatever one thing led to another, and without realizing completely what I was getting into, I went after it and succeeded, and we got the couch too. So it's all good.
The best of both worlds again. Wow.
Yeah, you both won. That was great.
Yeah.
Preparing for this conversation, I was talking to Jeff a little bit, and he was telling a funny story about one of the dad's trips that Jeff's father went on, and he couldn't remember. He was like standing with you somewhere on this trip, and y'all were visiting, and you had like an important phone call, and you were like, "Excuse me, like, for a second," and you step away, you take the phone call, and then later, like, Jeff's dad was just like in his room resting, like reading headlines and things like that, and it was like Molson acquires Coors or something, right? And Jeff's dad was just like, "Oh yeah, that was a very important phone call."
Oh, I remember Jeff's dad. He was great. He actually gave me a jersey, a Detroit Tigers jersey.
Oh.
For I think it must have been for Christmas or end of season or something like that. That's autographed, so that was really nice of him.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, that's some fun memorabilia to add to your collection. Dan Petrie jersey.
So now being the owner since 2009, we have to ask, what are some of your favorite all-time memories?
Oh, there have been so many. I mean, the actually, top of the list, even though it was COVID and we didn't have any fans in the building. It was like a really unique experience to watch that team, which nobody had any expectations they were going to do what they did. And then the series of events throughout each playoff round that happened, including Jeff getting devil eyes or whatever it was from Demon Eyes, and all the goals that Tyler got, everything. It was just
crazy.
It was crazy, one thing after another, and it was almost like that team couldn't lose. We didn't just beat regular teams. We beat some of the best teams in the league at the time. And so every moment was special. And I think that, across Montreal, the fact that we had 5,000 fans in the building and 500,000 fans outside of the building was crazy.
That was nuts.
It was so nuts. I have videos of driving with Kat in the back of my car, like through the thousands and thousands of fans.
Thousands and thousands of people. And you would have thought that, okay, there was, definitely no public COVID policy because it was everywhere. And then, these people had parties at their house and, there's 8 or 9 million Quebecers, people from Quebec. I would bet that almost the entire population was watching because there was nothing else to do, right? And summertime, and it was really incredible. And then obviously, important goals, important milestones by players. The list could be long, but I have to say, in year one, when neither one of your husbands were playing with us, our team unexpectedly went to the semifinals, and that was amazing. But that COVID year, getting to the Stanley Cup Finals was incredible. Yeah.
When we lived in Toronto Canadiens, up one above the Bell Center,
Right.
I, before the games, would open the window so Ty could hear everyone chanting.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, oh my God, I get chills thinking about it, like the amount of energy.
I can't imagine. Like we made the playoffs this year, and it was wild, because it's been a few years since we've been rebuilding our team. But if we had 21,000 fans in our building for games 3 and 4 at home, I think it would have been an even better experience. But and maybe even would have changed things a little bit because it was awesome. Yeah.
It was special.
We were trying our best to be as loud as possible. Julie and I were.
Yeah, we put all you guys in the Air Canada lounge, right? We were in the.
Oh yeah, we would get like reprimanded if we high fived too much on TV.
Yeah, we were. Julie and I were like a row apart,
and
so we were just kind of like dancing
back. But it honestly, it made it so unique and so special, and you could feel the city come back alive. You could see it like it was almost like motivation too for the players, and we got so superstitious and ritualistic on the wives side, and just texting the same things, and you almost felt it like a pressure, and you needed to help bring the city back because we were all just alone.
Yeah, you really did feel that.
Well, and also Montreal, when we were there, you really feel the history, but you also feel the superstitions. So it really got that out of all of us.
Oh, yeah.
What are yours? We know you have some.
Oh, yeah, I've got a few. On a regular basis during a game, I was always a big fan of Steve Shutt, number 22. So every time I see the number 22 somewhere, whether it's 9:22 or 22 seconds left in the game or whatever, I wink at that number 3 times. And so that's the big one. That's the big one.
Wow,
I love that.
I wink twice, I look away, and then I wink a 3rd time. And so that's a weird one, but I've always done it, and I still do.
That is cool. I love that you're admitting this. I feel like some people keep these lock and key.
It's okay. It's my own ritual.
I love it.
And then the other one that I do is when the Canadian national anthem is being sung, I only look at our team. And when the American national anthem is, or if we're playing an American team, and when the American national anthem is being played, I find a fan in the stands wearing a Canadiens jersey, and I stare at that fan for the whole anthem.
Wow.
And so those are the 2 things that are pretty regular for me in a game. So yeah.
Oh my God.
That is
I love
cool. I'm really like, those are, I did not know that. That's
Yeah, it's
cool.
weird. Yeah. So
Well, we love weird, and that's Montreal really just embraces that kind of weird, like fandom of all of us, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
well, so did
I
you guys. I mean, I know that you really embraced the restaurants in Montreal from day one. I remember when you arrived, you were active on social media right from the start, and
oh yeah,
that was great. You really got involved early, so it was great.
The thing about the Montreal restaurant scene, like it is like none other. It is a community within a community, but like talk about strength and like I don't know, they're just the most welcoming community within this huge city that made it feel small. And yeah, they're like, you know, keeping their doors open like later for us after games or things like that, but it is truly like the hospitality, everything within the restaurant scene and all those people. Like they're some of our friends and we keep in touch with them to this day, like Kat too. It's like they were part of our family extended in the city, and it just such a welcoming environment there within that little restaurant hub there.
Yeah, it's very entrepreneurial, and there's a lot of independent restaurant owners that love what they do. And we actually have really good relationships with them through our event business as well. So we have festivals in the summertime called Oshiaga Lasso, which is country music, and Ilsonic, which is electronic music festival. And those restaurants, not all of them, but every year we bring 5 or 6 of those restaurants to serve food to the artists. And it's
It's
a big
so cool.
hit. It's a really big hit. So they come with their food and kiosks. The owners are there serving food to the special guests. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's the most happy and helpful community ever.
Okay, well, speaking of Group CH, like that, like we were gonna go here, but let's go here now. Like you're not all Canadians. Like Group CH is doing, like you said, all of these festivals and bringing entertainment, things like that to Montreal. How much do you have a hand in that part of the business too? Like obviously but is music important to you? Like what kind of artists are you into? What side of Jeff Molson in the entertainment side? What
Electronic world.
Yeah,
Like,
electronic
where are we?
It depends on the time of night, I think, probably. The entertainment part of the business is very important, obviously. And so the way I would describe it is, when I bought the Montreal Canadiens, I didn't know that I was buying that opportunity as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the time it was the Montreal Canadiens and 70 or 80 concerts at the Bell Center per year, and
Nuts.
I think Oshiaga was in year one, so it was quite small. And very early on, we decided that this is a big opportunity for us to expand. And here we are, 17 years later. We've got a partnership with Live Nation. We own or operate 7 venues. We have 7 festivals. We're probably the largest entertainment company, definitely in Quebec, but one of the largest in Canada now, with over 1,500 events per year. So it's really become something big. And when it comes to the Bell Center, we only have 41 home games a year, and then we get the playoffs hopefully. And so there's a lot of days to fill in the stadium, and we have the Rocket that plays in Laval. Again, we have more days to use to fill that stadium, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's an important part of our business. I spend a lot of time on it, and it's become pretty fun as well. I've never really been a big music guy, but my kids and wife are huge country music listeners.
Yeah.
And so they participate in anything country, regardless of where they are in North America. And I'm sort of more of an old school rock and roll guy. Number one would be Nirvana, for example, for me. That would be sort of my number one band.
Wow.
And that type of music, Green Day, Blink 182, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Is there any? So was Blink there recently?
Yes, I think they were, and I believe
Yeah.
they were. And so was Mumford and Sons, but they're newer. So, yeah.
Yeah, we were wondering when you get the schedule, what you like freak out over.
Or
Well-
maybe it's your kids. freaking out about it.
Yeah, I think it's probably more wife and kids that freak out more than me, and I'm a spectator, and somebody who joins on. But obviously the big ones. If Coldplay ever comes back to Montreal,
Oh,
I'll freak out and I'll be
can we come?
Yeah,
Like,
shut it down.
please, because that would be a bucket list.
yeah.
Do your kids like try to get? I'm sure it's like Live Nation, obviously booking the concerts, but do they ever like get in your ear, like, Dad, like, can you like try and get?
Yeah. Yeah, we actually do the booking through Live Nation. We have our own booking group here in Quebec, in Montreal, and so we actually do it. And yeah, I get lots of feedback. So
Who are we targeting? Do we have anyone we're targeting?
Well, I can't talk about. I definitely can't talk about. Nice try though. The Eventco folks. They're very hesitant to tell me anything because they know I'm going to tell my kids. And so I'll keep that one to myself for now.
All right. Well, I'll take your smile as an exciting thing.
Yeah.
Well,
we have Luke Combs coming in May. That'll be big.
Oh,
I did see that. Yes.
Two shows in May at outdoor shows.
Have you ever been to a Luke Combs concert?
No.
I'll text Kate on the side too, though.
It's
Best
so
concert
good.
I've ever been to.
Oh,
Like,
good.
Hands down, and it's out. Where is it going to be? Outside.
It's where we have our Osheaga festival.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Hands down, best concert ever.
Awesome.
Like, I
Great.
cannot wait to see how Montreal takes
That'll
that
be
one in. Because
nice.
in 2 nights, too, I would go back to back.
Yeah. Well, that's what Maggie told me as well. I'm going to both. So yeah.
Maybe I'll go as Maggie's plus one. I'm coming in May.
Bring the duck calls.
Yeah, I will. I'll practice. I will
Yeah.
practice by then. As an owner, this might be a stupid question, but like, how, when the schedules are being built, how much do you, not that you have a say in it because things are like set in stone or whatnot, but are owners involved in that process with just say the NHL schedule?
Yeah. Well, we are given at the end of every season, we're given the NHL gives us parameters. So I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I'm going to say we've got to pick 5 Mondays. We've got to pick 17 Saturdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so we send that in.
Wow.
And then we wait for them to fill the days. And then every once in a while, like we know Luke Combs is coming in May, we will tell the NHL as soon as possible that those 2 dates
Are
or
off.
actually he's not coming to the Bell Center, but if he was coming to the Bell Center, then we would say those 2 days we cannot play a hockey game, we can't have too many of those restrictions. So then they take all that information, they fill it out for all 32 teams and send it out. And then if there's a date that really doesn't feel good for us, we can negotiate a little bit here and there, but it's really comes from the NHL, and then we fill our concerts from there. Yeah.
So
That's
cool.
fascinating to me. I am like, the day the calendar comes out in July for the next season is like Christmas Day to me.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh yeah, the earlier the better.
yeah, seriously.
All the
It's like,
holidays. you
when
look
they
at all-
start teasing like preseason or like different like outdoor games or things like that, I'm like, just send out the whole thing. I know that they know it.
Well, not everybody has 4 kids that they have to plan around as well. So. Yeah.
But it all revolves around Jeff's life first, and then we fill in from there. That's how
Yes.
it goes in our
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. I didn't know if you guys had. I didn't know about the parameter thing. That's
Yeah, that's
interesting.
crazy. Okay, so as an owner, as a fan, you're obviously superstitious, as we all are. But what is it like watching a game with you?
Well, if I was to be perfectly honest, it's probably pretty boring watching a game with me because I really do watch the game, and
Yeah.
I stand actually when I watch the game, unless I'm in the stands. But it's not always that I'm in the stands. But in my suite, I stand in the exact same place every time, and I take the chair and I move it away, and I stand there and then watch the game. And then between whistles, whatever, I'll have quick conversations with people and stuff like that. But I really do watch the game, and I love watching the game. So I would say that I try to be as much a fan as possible when I'm watching the game, and really pay attention to what's going on, and that's what I do.
What's your go-to meal? Like, what are you having? Of course, a hot dog.
If I had hot dogs at every hockey game, I
Yeah,
don't think I'd
true.
do it. But, again, a little bit superstitious on this one. I don't eat until after the second period, and after the first period, I make sure that I have a beer sometimes, but
Hydrate.
I don't necessarily. I don't eat until after the second period. That's another little superstition. But you know, I don't really have a. Usually, if I'm in the suite, someone else is, like Kate, is picking the menu, and I'll just eat what's put before me. So that's the way I'll usually do it.
What, in your opinion, makes the hot dogs such like a thing?
The best part about the hot dogs is that they're small, and so you don't feel like you're picking out and having a big, huge hot
Right.
dog. And then they're sort of squished around the hot
The
dog,
grilled.
the grill, and that just makes it appear even smaller. But just like with a nice piece of white bread and whatever ketchup and mustard you decide to put on it, but you feel like you're just having a little bite of a delicious hot dog, and it's not quite like any other hot dog. So.
Our producer would be so mad if we did not ask you what is your topping of choice on a hot dog. Like, how do you?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a mustard ketchup guy. So
Okay.
both. Yeah.
It's funny now. Whenever Ty plays there, he like sneaks them out after onto the bus. Like I guess they have them in the
Oh,
guest.
the visiting team. It almost always happens, and I like the guy that's in my lounge area. He's always between periods. He's preparing like 20 hot dogs for the other team to take
That's
back. on the
awesome.
bus. Pretty cool.
We always take a picture with like Jake and Em and all these people after all of our friends, and Ty always has
Okay.
like it in his pocket or in his hand. You'll always
That's
see
great.
that sneak there. One more question about you as a fan. Do you ever go incognito like into the stands and like crack a cold one and just take it in?
So yeah, I do. I do on the road. I do. So like if I did that at the Bell Center, I think like I do sit in the stands at the Bell Center, but it's usually low enough down toward closer to the glass, so it's hard to be too bothered. But on the road, I sit in the stands almost all the time, and it's great because there's always, well, depending on where you go, but if you're playing in Canada, there's thousands of Montreal Canadiens fans at every game in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Winnipeg, and it's great to see them all, and it's pretty awesome. And New York as well. When you go to a Rangers game, there's always tons. Florida, yes, it's great. It's a great way to see fewer fans on the road, and but at the Bell Center, I'm a pretty normal guy. Walk to lunch and walk in the streets and stuff like that. But at a game when everyone's really into it, I think it'd be a lot. So
And what is that like on the road games when you sit there like personally? Like how do you take that in when you see like your team?
it's amazing. It's great. I mean, there's Montreal Canadiens fans everywhere we go. Lots of them. Actually, we played Vegas on Friday night, and it must have been because it was a weekend for Montrealers, but it was pretty loud when we scored goals. I was impressed. A lot louder than it was when we played them in the playoffs that year. I was 99% Vegas fans at that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I just take it in like everyone else, and I'm usually with family or friends, and have a good night, and then hop on the bus with the team and go back to the next city. So yeah.
Has anyone ever given you like just a piece of advice for being the owner and kind of leader of this team that you've always it stuck with you?
Probably my father. I mean, he was involved in this beer and hockey thing for his whole career as well. He was never the CEO like I am, but he was the chairman of the beer company, which owned the hockey team. And he always, the lessons in humility are essential. The whole concept of let people do their jobs, don't interfere, just be supportive and be there when they need you. That whole sort of concept is ingrained in me. And when I say let people do their jobs, it includes the players, the coaches, everyone. Like the biggest mistake I could ever make is to try and make a decision about a hockey player. Even if I think I know everything, I've hired people to do that, and they need to make decisions, and I need to be supportive, obviously, and I am. But if something goes wrong or if something needs to change, um, the last thing I would ever want would be for someone to think that it's changing because of a decision that I made, because they're in charge of it. They're in charge of building a good hockey team, and so that's that. I learned that a lot from my father.
Well, that kind of brings up a big thing that we wanted to ask you about. It's very emotional, obviously very close to all of us, but with Carey, that decision, like how did that affect you emotionally?
Which one? The trade?
Yes.
Yeah. He was the first person I called, and to talk to him about it. And he obviously completely understands why it happened. And I think his response was, I don't have the exact words, but it was, I'll always be a Montreal Canadian, don't worry. So that it is emotional to think about it. But if you think about why it was done, he's helped Jeff Gordon and Kent Hughes to make our team better now. And that's the only reason it was done. It has nothing to do with the player, the individual. It's just he gave us a little bit more flexibility to build a better team right now. And so that's Carey Price for you, right? He's unselfish. He's a great, great person, and somebody that, his first year was my first year. And so
wow.
it's we've known each other for a very, very long time. And he's obviously a Montreal Canadian for life. So
Just currently Ty's teammate again, but
yeah.
by default.
And he showed up to any practices or anything like that? Or
No, but he came for a day or whatever for physicals, and the young kids geeked out when I tell you.
I'm sure they did.
They were freaking out. It was as if they saw Jesus walking through the hallway. So
yeah. You talk about that that run that we had in during COVID. He was, if not the biggest part of it, very close to the biggest part of it. It was an unbelievable performance, and he was doing it hurt.
Yeah,
it was amazing. Yeah,
it was truly, all of it was incredible.
Yeah.
So we usually play a game at the end of this, but since this is a first of all, the first owner, we're going to do things a little bit different. This is a little bit of grab bag situation, from fan questions to quick shootout questions. So whether you have a quick answer on this or you want to elaborate, go right ahead. So first off, if you could switch jobs with a coach, GM, player, or media, which one would it be and why?
If I could switch jobs, I think I would become a coach. And I say that because I think that I connect pretty well with people.
If you could have dinner with any 3 athletes, who would they be?
So I'm going to stick to the hockey theme here, since that's what we're talking about. And I will say Steve Shutt, my favorite player. Jean Beliveau, one of the greatest humans in the organization and all hockey. And Maurice Richard, who nicknamed the Rocket. And I didn't get to know him very well, but I'm sure it would be a great dinner with him.
So cool.
Awesome table. What is your favorite road city to visit?
Favorite road city would be any one of the original 6, but I've spent a lot of time in Boston. So I love going to games in Boston, especially when we win. It's not fun losing there. Not fun at all. But Boston and New York are probably top 2. Yeah.
Loud either way, win or lose.
Yeah.
Okay. What TV are you watching? You and Kate watching?
Well, Kate watches a lot of the Netflix type shows.
Okay.
And I'm not a heavy user.
No Real Housewives for you?
No, I got really into Game of Thrones for most of it. And I love watching those 5 to 6 episode shows about. They're usually sort of like detectives or action shows. I'm trying to think of which one was my favorite, but I can't think of them right now. Yeah.
My mom watches every single one, so we could fill in the blank with the list she would give.
Jack Reacher, all those types of things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, if you had to suggest one of your current players to be on Dancing with the Stars, who would it be?
Oh boy, that's a good one. I would say on Dancing with the Stars, probably the best dancer on the team would be Lane Hudson, because you just watch him sort of dance around the ice and move his feet and skate like
This is
crazy.
true.
And so he's probably got pretty good footwork without his skates on as well. So I think he'd be a really good dancer.
Perfect.
That's fun. Have you ever watched Dancing with the Stars?
I have. Yes.
Nothing to be ashamed of there.
No,
Yeah, we're
no.
big
You know what?
fans.
I'm back to the TV thing. I'm in the summertime. I'm here alone quite often because we have a place outside of the city that my family spends most of their time at, and I watch a lot of America's Got Talent. That's a show.
Oh.
I get really into it, and then by September it ends. Right? It's perfect. The hockey season starts, and AGT.
And you're
ends.
like, America has no talent.
At the beginning, it's a little rough. Yeah, it starts to get better towards the end. Yeah.
Wow, we're a big competition show. I love that.
Yeah.
Was that the one with the dog on it, the dancing dog?
They do that too. Yeah, there's always comedians, singers, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
I love that. That's so fun. Do you have any former players that you still keep in touch with as like a good friend?
I do. Well, keep in touch depends what you define as keep in touch. But I feel like I've kept in touch somewhat with both of your husbands. But I'd say the one player that I've stayed the most in touch with over the years has been Hal Gill. Hal Gill played for us for a few years. He was there the first year when I bought the team. He's now with Nashville, and he's almost my age, I think. He's a little bit younger than me, but he and his wife are wonderful people, and we do stay in touch with them.
Who is the player who has always made you laugh the most?
Cole Caulfield.
We could have guessed that.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that.
Do you have any favorite Cole stories?
I'm
You
not
do a
gonna-
whole segment.
Yeah, you could do a whole segment on it. But the thing about Cole that's just amazing is I don't think I've ever seen him without a smile on his face, and so it's pretty impressive. He's full of positive energy, and I think you see it in our team as well.
Perma happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have any current players or former players that would make a good owner or GM?
Yeah, I think I think that actually quite a few probably.
Mm-hmm.
But the first name that came to my head was Nick Suzuki. He's a pretty serious guy. He's a natural leader. He's smart, and he became a captain at a really young age. And I just see him the next phase of his life. I think he could probably stay in hockey.
100%. He's so wise. It's
I
crazy.
think he said that on
He did.
he opened up this season 2 of Never Offside.
Oh, he did. Okay.
And I think he even alluded. He's like, I think I could see myself going there. So, I mean, that's a no-brainer. He's
He's already got his plans for you.
There we
So.
go.
yeah.
Okay, best bagel in Montreal.
Oh, Saint Viateur.
We had a list
wondering.
here. We had like an either or, and neither of us knew how to pronounce it. So
I'm
we
really bad at
we reworded our question.
Well, there's Real Bagel, which is very good too. But Saint Viateur is traditionally seen as one of the better bagels.
Mhm.
Okay, and best poutine in Montreal.
And high-end poutine or low-end poutine, in other words, like some of the fancy restaurants offer poutine, which are absolutely crazy. But I'd say, if I just wanted to have a normal poutine that's delicious, I'd go to Leffler.
You're probably going to tell me nice try. But will there be an outdoor game in Montreal soon?
I know. We would love to. The problem is we don't have an outdoor stadium.
Mhm.
And so until such a time, I don't see it happening anytime soon, but we want it. We'd love to have it.
That'd be so cool there.
It would be. Oh my God, it'd be magical.
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever had to hide your emotions because the cameras have been on you?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's not even if the cameras are on you. I think you have to hide them anyway all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when something, especially when something bad is happening, I think that I make a pretty concentrated effort to make sure that I don't show any expressions, like a bad goal or a bad save, whatever, or not making a good save. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, you don't want to get too excited either. But I think the last thing you want as an owner is to show your disappointment in your own team when something doesn't happen the right way or the way we want it. Yeah.
Okay, what is a hidden gem in Montreal that you swear by? Restaurant, park, cafe? What is like we're giving away your secrets.
Well, I'd say from a restaurant perspective, the one place that I like to go to whenever the chance arises is a place called Tuck Shop. It's small, it's quaint, the food is healthy-ish, and definitely local produce. And it's a great little restaurant where you can be low-key and have a nice dinner. Yeah.
I think that was one of our first memories in Montreal, like when we re-signed, was in the fall. Jeff and I went, and you and Kate were having dinner there, and we just casually walked by.
Oh.
Nice. Yeah.
Cute. Which current player would be the best Montreal tour guide?
Best Montreal tour guide. I'm gonna say Arbor Jack guy. I think that he'd be a pretty good tour guide. He's sort of been around the city. You could see him getting involved in things, and he probably knows where to go. Yeah.
Knows all the people to call, probably, all that stuff.
Yeah, plus you're safe, right?
Yep, protected.
Bodyguard and tour guide.
Who would be the player you would let design a special or new jersey?
I think it would be Brendan Gallagher. I say that
Solid.
because he's been with us forever. He's had the most experience with the Montreal Canadiens of all of our current players, and he'd be able to draw from history and make a beautiful sweater, jersey.
Oh, that's sweet. He's the best. Okay, player you would not trust to drive the Zamboni.
I think I'd be a little worried if Uri Slakowski was driving the Zamboni. I think he's young, he's inexperienced, and it would be tricky, I think, yeah.
Okay, the toughest moment of ownership and the best.
I'd say that the toughest moment as an owner was my decision that we were going to fully rebuild the organization from scratch, basically, with the exception of a few players, and that was in December of 2022, I believe. No, 21. And that was a big decision. The Montreal Canadiens have never rebuilt. They've always had a good team, and they've always sort of, demonstrated success. And to stand up in front of the entire fan base and say, we're gonna rebuild, and it's gonna be a tough few years, but eventually we're gonna reap the benefits had never been done before, and something I've always been worried about. It turned out to be really well supported by our fans, and hopefully will turn out to be successful for us as a team as well. Best moments, obviously, we've already talked about that Stanley Cup run, which was, like I said, probably the best moment, even though our fans weren't here. There's so many moments where we've found a way to win a game that at the Bell Center, and the fans, you could just feel their passion come out, and their love for the team. And I can't really point to one, but if I started thinking about it, it's just that it's those moments where you're sitting at the Bell Center and the crowd can't control itself. It's so happy. And there have been many of those in the 17 years I've been doing this. Yeah.
And last but not least, what is your go-to motivational line to players or staff or anybody that is working with you?
I try to like, motivation might not be the right word, but with the players, I say thank you all the time. Like, thanks for all your hard work. Thank you for giving so much. Whatever it is, whether they played a good game or they're leaving the organization because they got traded or whatever it is, I make sure they know that I'm grateful for everything they gave to the organization while they were there, even while they're still there. So I say thank you a lot. I don't know if that's motivating or not, but it's what I do. And then with the staff, it's getting to know them, understanding them, spending time with them, whether it's at the gym or on the road or whatever it is, so that they know that I value them as much as anyone. I hope that's motivational, but I think everyone in the organization knows how much regardless of what you do, everyone contributes to our success on the ice.
Well, it sums it up about who you are as an owner and just your whole aura around the team and organization, and why you're here with us today. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever have another owner on this podcast with us, but if that's the case, this has been such a delight, and I hope you had a great time. We are so appreciative of you, Jeff, and your whole family, just for everything that you guys have done for us when we were there in Montreal, and then just our continued friendship and encouragement just in our own separate journeys, and keeping in touch like that. It's really just such a treat to have crossed paths with you guys.
Yeah, Montreal is so magical, so thank you.
Thank you for inviting me, and it was lots of fun. Definitely a different interview, not one that I'm used to, so hopefully I didn't get myself into too much trouble today.
No.
And great to see you. Say hello to your husbands for me, and thank you.
He's the best. We love Montreal. My God, it's such a special place. It's just everything about the Habs and Canadians, and he is just, it's everything. He's just the best.
I don't want to say I can't believe we actually got the interview with him, but because he's a man of his word and that's just who he is. But I just still kind of can't believe that he shook my hand at that wedding and here we are.
Yeah.
But he's so awesome. His family's so awesome. So that was really, really fun.
I love that he was like, this is a different kind of interview. I'm like,
yeah, good. We wanted it. We wanted it to be different.
In the beginning, you said the silver stick. So now that we're in the outro, yes, I would love to see it, please.
Hold on. You got to take everything off.
Yeah. I want to see how heavy it is. This is exciting.
I don't even know. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. Oh, you can one-hand it.
It's so heavy.
Do you need gloves or something? Do we need gloves?
I got to put my headphones back on.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Do you need like gloves or anything?
No, it's got to get like buffed out from. I should get Jeff to come help me do this, but all of our kids are home now. If you can't hear, it's a little chaotic again. But
you don't have to take it all off. Just like
we do. Oh yeah, we do. Hold on.
Take that as you will.
It's just It is so heavy.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is amazing.
Look at this.
Wait. Wow.
Is that not gorgeous?
Where was it made? Do we know? Like, where did it come from?
Yes, we do. Hold on. It says it right here. I think Vancouver.
Do we have a place in the forever home that this is going in your mind?
No, that's fake news. Sorry. It's not from Vancouver. They just wrote the actual. So how quickly this is made is they write the game that is the 1,000th on it. So it says Vancouver Canucks versus Panthers engraved. Okay. So it like gets made overnight, and I don't know where it comes from.
Where was that?
I'm breathing hard. Like I'm in a different zone.
Like, does it come straight from Toronto where the cup is? Like,
look at this thing.
Yeah.
And they got all of the boys matching mini ones.
Oh, that's cool.
It's insane. We had to go hide those. And
okay, so where in the house is this gonna go? Not this house, because like, where's this going in Detroit?
In Detroit?
Yeah. Do we have like plans for this?
We're gonna have to make some.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Somewhere in the basement. Maybe we could put some like cool hooks, like on the wood walls. Maybe like above some of his jerseys that are on that one wall.
So sick.
But definitely, I don't know if it'll go up for a couple years. Like, let the boys. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out a way.
Really funny right now.
I'm trying to figure out a way to put this down like nicely without like scratching it.
For those listening and not watching, Julie is trying to manhandle the silver stick without like ruining it, and it's pretty funny. She's doing like a crab walk.
Yeah, sorry. You guys, I'm sweating now. That thing is so...
It's beautiful. And
it's gorgeous.
Yes.
It's
she
gorgeous.
is gorge. I love it. So nicely done, Jeff. And speaking of the 1,000 games, our week of thanks, week of giving was a success. We're still waiting. Obviously, we shoot this on Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday, and we gave till the end of today for the Jeff jersey. We're not giving away the silver stick. We're giving away
Yeah, let's be clear.
Yes. For a Jeff number 2 jersey. But we just have to say, we're overwhelmed by the comments. Like
that was so sweet.
Yeah, we cannot get over, like, honestly, like, you never know. We've never done this before, so we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if people would just comment like a name or something like that. So the heartfelt responses and just like the thoughtful topics and just like reflections
Things you liked or looking forward to, like it really was so meaningful. Like I think this giveaway actually turned out to be like felt more for us. I don't know.
It was definitely a kick to the rest of the season. Like it kicked us into like, wow, like this is it was emotional.
It was
We're
moving.
emotional.
It was moving.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. That was really, really kind of everybody who entered and took time to write those really thoughtful and sweet things to us. So it means a lot, especially I'm a words of affirmation girl. So that that goes a long way.
Yes. So the winners will be will be revealed soon. We can't reveal it on here just yet since we're still waiting.
So check your DMs. Tomorrow.
Yeah. And we're very excited for that. So So should we tease our next guest now that we're in the business of teasing?
Yeah, we're in the business of teasing as to a big request. Private DMs and all the time after we ask fan questions of who you would like to see. Many people request the one, the only Lauren Kyle McDavid, and she will be joining us next week, so stay tuned for that.
Yep, start asking your questions in our DMs. We'll obviously do what we always do and tee you up with the questions box, but you know what? We'll start thinking now, start DMing because we'll look.
So that will be fun. That'll be up next week, and looking forward to it.
So yeah, that'll be next week. Again, thank you for all the love on IG. We really appreciated it, and thanks for the follows and everything like that.
So go listen to your podcast, like, follow, do all the things, subscribe, comment on the podcast. I think that's a big thing, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And thanks for listening to Never Offside.